/am I the a-hole keeps getting worse. Hello you gorgeous donuts. People for years now have been putting their issues on Reddit and asking if they're the a-hole in the situation. So today I thought we would take a look at some of the most recent ones, which honestly have taken things to a new level. There's one specific one that is coming in this video that genuinely I can't believe this is a real person that wrote this. Am I the a-hole for forcing my in-laws to use a toilet instead of jugs in my home? Alright, just off the headline there, I'm possibly going to say no. Who uses a piss jug in someone else's home? Okay, in your own home, that's fine. We all use piss jugs in our own home, but you're taking the literally if using it in someone else's home, in my opinion. My in-laws are visiting my wife and I this week. The trip was short notice, so they'll be staying at our home. Our guest bedroom that they'll be staying in is in the basement of our house. It's spacious, clean, dry. The only issue is that it does not have a bathroom associated with it. You have to walk up to the basement stairs and halfway across the house to get to our guest bathroom. Before arriving, my in-laws were complaining that it was far too far of a walk to get to the bathroom from the basement. We are offering them free lodging, so I figured they would just have to deal with it. However, yesterday we got an unexpected Amazon package. Oh, is it the We'll read it all before we are. My wife opened it and pulled out a strange plastic container. I joked that it looked like one of those medical jug devices. The joke was on me because it was exactly that. What? My in-laws had ordered a device for them to urinate in instead of going to the bathroom upstairs. I told my wife absolutely not, and that they have to use the toilet. Putting your foot down early doors, fella. My in-laws are very healthy and able-bodied people, and there is zero reason other than laziness for them to use a device like this. My in-laws arrived later yesterday night, and we confronted them about their plan to in the jug. Well, I'm glad this staycation has started off on the right foot. They joked about the device and asked what else were they supposed to do. Use a litter box? No! Go upstairs and use the goddamn toilet! Now they are complaining about having to go all the way upstairs, and I'm pretty sure they are secretly using the jug. I'm going to flip if I find out that they're using it down there. Am I the a-hole for asking them to use a toilet like a normal human being? We've also got an edit that confirms that the in-laws have no health issues. They're very fit and healthy. We also offered them to stay upstairs, but the rooms upstairs are more cramped and not as spacious. They opted to stay in the basement room. Okay, I'm so ready to just dive deep into this one. This is brilliant and also terrible. Firstly, right? Very nice thing that you're doing for your in-laws. Okay, you're letting them stay in your home. You're a family. You want them to be as comfortable as possible. And you want to make sure that they're not overpaying at a hotel. That's very kind of you. Okay? Secondly, you've given them one of the biggest rooms in the house. Yes, it's the basement. Okay, but the basement seems to be quite nice. Because when they were given the option of staying in another bedroom, they chose the basement. So this is on their terms at this point, okay? Now, on to the main issue at hand. The little issue of the jug. I would argue that it's actually more difficult to go on Amazon, find the perfect piss jug, order it to, your son or your daughter's house, in that, and then take that to the, I don't know, do you take it outside, or do you take it to the toilet, or to the sink? Where do you take the jug? Or do you leave it to ferment? I have no idea. Surely that's a lot harder than just taking yourself to the toilet. Surely. Honestly, if one of my in-laws came to my house and started in jugs, I would just be okay, they can never set foot in this house ever again. what do you mean? How big is this house? If it's a mansion, a huge house where it's a mile of the toilet, okay, still not, on board with the jug thing, but I can understand maybe the frustration a tiny bit. But your house just seems it just seems like a house that normal people will live in. Surely it's only a 20-second walk to the toilet. What were they expecting? An ensuite? How many houses just have an ensuite, especially to the basement? Oh yeah, does your basement not have an ensuite? What the f? I'm definitely in a piss jug. I actually think this is kind of grotty as well. The fact if they weren't able to climb upstairs and everything, that changes the entire dynamic. But because they are able to, and it's out of sheer laziness, I actually just think this is grotty. I do. What happens if they just spill it? I don't know how good their aim is. What happens if they get knocked? And it's all come on. If there's one thing that I don't want to do with me weekend, it's cleaning me in-laws out of the basement. Anyone's for that matter. Doesn't matter who it came out of. Also, I'd be not offering them drinks when they're staying here, because I don't want them to use the bathroom as frequently as they possibly would if they were drinking a lot. Do you know what I mean? I want to minimize the amount of time that they're using the piss jug. Also, are they taking the piss jug home with them? Is this just staying in the house? Oh, that's a nice ornament you've got there, Cam. Oh, thanks. That's just my piss jug. Like, what? Where did they get this from? Like, TK Maxx on Amazon? Where do you even buy a jug? Also, the human body, you know, can't hold in for, you know, longer than a minute. Like, everyone's had an experience of where they've been somewhere and there's not a bathroom accessible and you've got to hold it. This is not an issue. The toilet just being up a couple of stairs. Like, it's really not that bad. And also, you know, when you empty the out of the jug, I've said far too many times in this video, surely you have to empty it in the toilet. So you're making a journey to the toilet anyway. Like, either way, you're gonna have an encounter with the toilet. Might as well just do all your business in one go. This is the worst. You are not the asshole. I think you're well entitled to be an asshole in this situation and kick them out. Basements don't have much ventilation, I don't think. It's gonna be hotboxing that with the boyfriend is going on a bachelorette trip with all females. Moment of silence for this poor loss. You're alright, love. We've got you. So my boyfriend has a female best friend. She recently asked him to be in her wedding as the man of honor. She also has a maid of honor. One of my best friends is also male. Both of us are okay with having friends of the opposite sex, but I don't text my male friend daily and talk to him all day. We check in on an occasion, hang out on an occasion, and I typically always try to include my boyfriend in the hangouts. It's very nice. My boyfriend goes out to drinks with his female friends and never invites me. Now he's invited on a bachelorette trip, weekend getaway with a house full of females and drinking. This makes me extremely uncomfortable, and I've mentioned that. Not to mention, I've never ever had any romantic feelings towards my male best friend. He admitted to having feelings for his friend in the past. What? He brushes it off and acts like I'm overreacting. If I went on a bachelor trip with a bunch of guys for a weekend, pretty sure he wouldn't be cool with that at all. Okay. So before we get onto the update, let's just give our opinions on this. If your boyfriend is on a bachelorette party with a bunch of girls, I don't think it's an insecurity thing. I don't think it makes you like a bad person that you're insecure about this. I feel like anybody would at least have this in the back of their mind, like, oh, could something happen? Especially when there's not another guy there. It's just human nature to think like that. This is intense for anybody, especially the fact it's not just a night, like they're actually on a trip away. And I think the most alarming thing here is that, like you said, when your male best friend, like your boyfriend, comes, if you guys like go on a night out or whatever, the fact that your boyfriend doesn't invite you on the girl nights out, it's like, why? Like, does he not think that you would get along with his girlfriends? Like, do you have an issue with them? You haven't mentioned that. Like, it's a kind of weird that he's not including you when you include him. Like, that kind of screams red flags to me, because it's like, okay, my mind will spiral. I'm like, oh, so are they doing things that they don't want me to know about? Or, you know, why am I purposely being kept at arm's length here? Like, I've never been invited before for no reason. You are gonna, like, your mind's gonna spiral. And I don't think that makes you a bad person, or it doesn't make you, like, you know, like a crazy partner or anything. This is normal, especially when drinking's involved, because, you know, that obviously people trust their partners, and rightly so, but when drinking is involved, especially when you're already insecure about them, it does make it 10 times worse. And what is the cherry on the top is the fact that your boyfriend has admitted in the past, I imagine before you were together, that he's had feelings for someone in this friendship group. So already there's a correlation between your boyfriend fancying someone in this group. They're all on a holiday together. You don't know anything about it because they always keep you at arm's length. And there's alcohol. Of course you're going to be worried. This is normal. Right, let's read the update. We got a chance to talk in depth. He actually made me feel really good about everything, calmed my fears, told me he actually got drunk and cried to all of the girls about how much he loved me, etc. Bought me a cute little shirt. All good, right? Plot twist. Oh, I don't want to read. I find out a day later that the bride's fiance showed up unannounced to the cabin. There was no bachelorette trip. It was literally just the two of them. You're having me on. It was a... Ooh, and they're both kissed. Wow! I just got a shiver down my spine. And honestly, it's pretty warm in here, so I wasn't expecting that today. That is wild. What, it was just the two of them? Oh my god, this is chilling, man. Needless to say, I'm single. No idea if the wedding is still on. I've blocked everyone. My ex-boyfriend was supposed to be in the wedding, so... What the f***? What the actual f***? I like that you're taking this, you know, kind of funny. Sounds like his life is currently imploding, though, so I'm just gonna let karma keep sorting this out. I think he lost his job because he couldn't show up due to his truck issues and is probably going to move in with his mom. We had initially been talking about him moving in with me. Phew. This is all in the last week. Amen. And then we've got another update to the update. The battery was dead in his vehicle when he tried to leave yesterday. Then he got a flat tire right before he got home. Karma got him for something. So you know, when you were kind of worried about feeling, you know, a little bit anxious about him going away with all these girls, this was warranted. That gut feeling you had was right. Like, it never fails you. Like, if you have a feeling about something, a real feeling about it, chances are there's some truth to it, because why do you even feel that way in the first place? You don't just feel that way. Yes, you can, you know, be, I guess, self-conscious because you might have been cheated on in previous relationships, and that can often, you know, unfortunately, fall into your new relationship. But with this, there was substance. It wasn't from a past relationship. It was the substance in this relationship that was making you feel like something was wrong. Always trust your gut. It seems like you're not even surprised, though. Like, it's almost as if you were expecting this, the way that you're writing. Like, you don't even seem that distraught. You just kind of seem happy that there's an end to this. Although it's going to be really hard right now. Like, in, I don't know, a couple of years, even a couple of months, you're going to laugh about this and be like, what the was I actually ever doing with that person? Someone asked, like, how long have they been together? And the person who wrote this, OP, replied, going on 2 years. Which, again, like, within 2 years, you've never been out with his friends, even though, you know, they're all girls, and chances are you probably would enjoy spending time with him and his friends. That is just such a red flag, in my opinion. If he's going out with, like, all boys, and, you know, they're doing something which you wouldn't enjoy, obviously, like, you're probably not going to be invited to that, because you need to have friends as well as your relationship. Like, you know, that's just a healthy sign of a relationship, in my opinion. Like, you spend time with your friends and also your partner, and then that can come together at some time. But the fact it was just always kept apart is such a red flag. And you knew, but you're not the asshole here, obviously. You're the asshole for not leaving him earlier, love, okay? God, these are good today. These are really good. Am I the a-holes or am I the a-holing? Do you know what I mean? They're gaping. Oh, sorry, ruined everything there, haven't I? Am I the a-hole for shaming my mom? Is a sentence that I never thought I would say. I'm not gonna pull the "it's not what it sounds like" card. This is exactly what it says on the tin. I personally think I was justified in doing so, but I'm willing to hear people out if I wasn't. My mom, 55 female, has this pretty necklace that she wears all the time. I, 20 female, would always admire it when I was a kid. Nobody else has a necklace like it. It's metal and wraps around her neck like a ring. She never took it off and always told me that it was a gift from my dad whenever I asked about it. Okay. Last week, she sat me down to tell me something. She told me that she's in a 24/7 BDSM relationship with my dad. The necklace is not actually a necklace, but a f***ing collar that he has the key to. Yeah, this would be this would tip me over the you know, you think you're going through it. No, you're not. Imagine finding out your bloody mom is a slave to your dad in a BDSM way. Yeah, it's not the best way to kick off a weekend, is it? You know, see you later. Anyway, off to football. Right? I don't even want to read on, if I'm honest. I couldn't handle it. The necklace that I always loved as a kid is actually for her king that she was shoving in my face for my entire life. Now I'm rethinking all of her behaviours and all of the ways that she got me involved in her goddamn king. I told her that she was disgusting and stormed out. Now she's blowing up my phone accusing me of being a prude and a kink shamer. My dad getting in on it too and swearing that this healthy. I just don't know what to do. Currently, I can't even think of forgiving her for telling me this. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? First off, like, finding out that your mother is in a BDSM kind of relationship with your dad, where your dad basically owns, you know, they're basically alluding to him owning her with this necklace. It's a sign of, like, ownership. They're not breaking the law. They're not hurting anyone else with their king. So they are technically allowed to do it, okay? Like, if this is what brings them closer together, if this is what makes them, you know, keep it spicy in their relationship, and it's the thing that's managed to keep them, you know, help to keep them together for this long. They might argue that this is positive because we could have lost our spark, we could have split up, then, you know, it might have been more traumatic, you know, a divorce for the OP who wrote this. But from OP's point of view, the person that wrote this, you are well entitled to feel this way, because it's almost like putting a stain on your childhood, because this necklace clearly means a lot to you because you thought it was a sign of how much, you know, your dad, like, loves your mom, but not in a kinky way. And I can understand why finding this out would be very overwhelming. Like, if you found this out about your friends, like 2 of your friends did this, it wouldn't be that overwhelming. But the fact it's your own mom, like, I'm the same. I don't want to ever think of like, your parents in that sort of way. Do you know what I mean? You just don't want to. I know you're in the world, so clearly, you know, that happens, but you don't want to think about it. I just want to believe that I was spawned in, you know, just, I don't know, just one day I just kind of spawned in and now I'm here. So obviously you've reacted emotionally, because just in the moment, you just, you know, you've just like let off the steam. I feel like they could have handled it a little bit better. The fact that they straight away just called you a prude and a kink shamer, it's almost like they're, you know, just being nasty to you because you don't approve of what their thing is. Like, they could have been a little bit more understanding and being like, you know what, your daughter finding out this probably is going to be very overwhelming. Let's just like let her, you know, just have our time, and we can talk to her about it, and we can talk about how we can, you know, make her feel comfortable with what we like to do and just talk it out. But it seems like they've went on the defensive straight away, and it's probably because, you know, maybe in their personal life their friends have maybe took the mick out of them and they've had to, you know, be on the defensive, so they've probably built up a little bit of a wall to people's like reactions to this, and it probably does hurt them coming from their daughter. But they need to see this from your point of view, because this is really overwhelming for you. I feel like it's fair the way that you've reacted, and I don't think you are kink shaming. I feel like you're not even thinking about the actual kink, really. It's just the fact it's your mum and dad and this necklace means so much to you. Let me know your opinions on this. This is Solia. Most people in the comments are calling the person who wrote this the a-hole, which is really interesting. Honestly, I feel like possibly the person who wrote this actually might be able to come to terms with it, but this is still very fresh, and like some people just aren't into like this is I've said it multiple times, this is overwhelming for a child to find this out about your parents. I'm sorry, that is just the top and bottom of it. Again, I haven't called the parents a-holes, like I've tried to explain it from their point of view, but they are a little bit a-holey for not understanding why this would be overwhelming for their daughter. They can still disagree with our reaction, but not understanding. Yeah, I'm not here for that. Am I the a-hole for laughing when my wife fell and pooped her pants because I thought it was a prank? Sorry? I, 33 male, think my wife, 31 female, is genuinely funny. That's good to know. But I think she actually is funny despite what everyone else is. But her love of pranks and toilet humour can be a bit much. One day, I was in the living room. My wife ran in holding her tummy. She slipped and fell. Then she said something like, "Crap, I pooped my pants." That's funny. "Crap, I crapped my pants." Everything about it seemed like a prank she would do. From the double meaning phrase to the toilet humour to the physical comedy. This is a house full of crack. Oh, terrible. Despite the fact that I dislike most of her pranks, I found this one funny. But it wasn't pranking. When I realised I tried to help her up, she told me not to touch her. She sarcastically called me husband of the year for laughing at her. I explained, but she said I should have known it wasn't a prank because she did a similar one before and she doesn't repeat the same prank. Am I the a-hole? Honestly, like, what am I even reading here? Your wife has a thing where she constantly pretends that she's... Let me get this right. So your wife is a prankster. Okay, but like an amateur prankster, not, you know, like a YouTube one, I guess. Can you be a professional prankster? I don't know. Ask Barney and the Ninjas. So I guess she often, you know, pranks you by pretending she's herself, which obviously is, you know, great. And she's kind of like the boy who cried wolf here. She's done it multiple times. So the time she actually does, you know, follow through, you're not going to believe her. And I feel like you're well within your rights to think this was a prank. Because honestly, are you really going to be expecting that your wife walks in the room and just craps herself? Like, it's not really a thing that you expect to happen. Especially when she is a seasoned amateur prankster. You know, especially in that situation. You're going to just think she's up to a little trick. You know, have you yourself again, have you, love? Yeah. Good one. Good one. Oh, the fake poop on the floor and everything. Oh, that's real. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, it's trickling. Yeah, oh. It's also funny that you laughed at this one where you might not have laughed at ones previously. You thought she really just played this one off well, like she'd been working on her acting skills. No, this was the real thing. This wasn't the fire drill. This was the whole house burning down. Also, why did she walk into this sitting room with a bad tummy? Oh, she slipped and fell, okay. And that just made her, yeah, obviously, as you do. I don't really know what to say about this one. I think that maybe I can't call her the a-hole, because she's, you know, it's not very nice. I don't want to kick a woman when she's down with poop in her pants. You know, the last thing she needs now is getting called an a-hole. I think, you know, she's having enough trouble with her own at the minute. What are the comments saying to this one? This one's just a funny one. Your wife is just the girl who cried poop. Oh, shit. I hate when I read a comment that says a funnier joke than I've got in the locker. Curse you, Objective Citron 4560. Am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to dress more sensibly on a walk? Ooh. My girlfriend and I, both 30, go on this trail by the river sometime. It is about an hour each way and most people are in casual or sporty clothes. The first few times we did it, she wore a maxi skirt and high heels and I felt like it was really out of place. I told her after the last time that next time she should dress more sensibly. She claimed it was fine, but it is really out of place, and even if she won't admit it, she definitely struggles, particularly at the end of the trail where it is not paved. Everyone looks at her and she even gets a few comments, especially about about the shoes. So I wonder if she does it for the attention. We went again recently and she showed up in the same type of outfit, long skirt, heels, clicking on the ground, makeup done like we were going to dinner instead of a walk. I felt embarrassed walking next to her because everyone else was in athletic clothes and she stood out. I reminded her that I already asked her not to dress like that for this specific activity. She told me I was being controlling and that she can wear whatever she wants. I feel like she is deliberately ignoring what I said, but at the time I do not think it is unreasonable to expect her to fit the setting. Am I the a-hole for saying something? I love that. Am I the a-hole for just like, you know, putting a suggestion forward, just diminishing what you've just said? This one seems like you're kind of embarrassed by your girlfriend and what she chooses to like wear, even down to her makeup. Like, you know, you could argue that high heels are the most productive or best form of footwear or comfortable form of footwear to go on a walk with, but you're not the one wearing them. So, you know, if you don't want to wear high heels for the walk, that's fine. But if your girlfriend is most comfortable in high heels and she doesn't complain, if she was wearing high heels and she was just like complaining at you the whole time that she was wearing high heels, you could be like, well, why don't you just not wear them? But she's not. She's comfortable in them. And this clearly brings her confidence. Doing makeup, like wearing the clothes she wears, like that's what fulfills her. She might be passionate about looking her best at all times. So if she feels confident leaving the house, surely that's a good thing for you because then everyone's more comfortable. If she was in clothes where she didn't feel comfortable, she felt really like, you know, not confident at all, but you were happy with them, that like it's not going to be the same vibe on the walk. Like, you know, you're not going to enjoy it. And also, it's a good thing to stand out. Like, why would you want to be like everyone else? Like, who cares if people are walking past that and making comments? If someone walks past someone and makes a comment about their outfit when they're on a walk, that person's a dick. That person's outfit doesn't impact them at all for them to go out of their way to say a comment that you can clearly hear. That person is a knobhead, and why would you even want to, you know, fulfill their standards anyway? Like, there's someone that you don't want in your life and you're never probably going to see again because they're a total stranger. As long as she's not hurting anyone and she's doing it for herself, why does it matter what anybody else cares? And surely you should be kind of, you know, what's the word, like supportive of this. He actually did say, I felt embarrassed walking next to her because everyone else was in athletic clothes and she stood out. Like, you actually said you felt embarrassed being next to your girlfriend. Can you imagine how that would make her feel? She doesn't say she feels embarrassed when, you know, you've got your full, I don't know, like paramour walking on. She doesn't tell you what to wear. She just goes, if he's comfortable, I'm fine. So why can't you just be the same? I don't really understand this. I don't even know what like fit the setting means anyway. Like, me and Chloe go on holiday to the lakes, and that is like a place that is made for walking. Everyone very much like wears walking clothes. But if one time Chloe was like, you know, I'm just gonna wear, I don't know, like a maxi dress or heels or whatever, I'm like, yeah, go for it. Like, if you stand out, who cares? Like, genuinely, who cares? That's what gives you confidence, and you go for it, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's your life, and if that makes you happy, f everyone else. Alright, thank you very much for watching, Donuts. I hope you've enjoyed this video. We have so many Am I the Arsehole videos if you want to go and watch them here. Go on a binge watch, and we're currently in the works, possibly, of making a Reddit channel. Also, if you want to submit your own Am I the A-hole, do it on this Reddit link, okay? Just search this on Reddit, put them in there, and I'm going to include them in the next video. Thank you very much. See you later.
Kirkham, baby!